So good. When you left the Warriors for the Wizards, you also had, I believe, an offer from the Clippers as well. Was it just based on the total value of the bag? Was that the determining factor, or did you give any serious thought? Different Clippers time, obviously, at that stage in life, different ownership.
No, I mean, we was negotiating. We came out the gate talking about we want the max, right? Just asking for the max. Clippers asked, it was $55 million out. Just we'll give you 55, right? It was 51. Clippers came 55. Miami was hesitant to paying the young dude, right? Brian Russell opted out of his Wizard contract to come play for the Lakers. Mm-hmm. Salary cap went up. Wizards had 64. So when I went there, they said, he said, if you get me out of this Jordan era, you're taken care of. Right? So I didn't even go back to renegotiate. All I heard was, you get me out of this, erase Jordan's name. You think about me, it's the competition of it. Right? It's just a competition. Erase Jordan's name, and you, cool. That was playing, the ideal of playing home, right? Being distracted. I didn't want that idea. The coin flip and all that shit. Right. Think about it. I flipped the coin, it landed Clippers. I just did the opposite.
You still said no.
Right, I just did the opposite. It was more like me being somewhere else, don't know anybody, I just got to put in the work. Me being here, all my friends and all that, I was like, I'll be out of the league before anything. Yeah. I'd rather just... Yeah. I tasted fame. Okay. I tasted the hard work and what it took and saw the reward of it, right? 2 years, 12 months of basketball, and I got paid $64 million. That's what I felt. It wasn't the money aspect because, it was I did this one, most improved, one rookie, sophomore, all-star MVP, right? It was I want more.
But Gilbert, why would the Wizards want to erase MJ's legacy? Isn't he the GOAT?
No, they just had a big falling out.
Okay.
Right, I know people, try to pretend that it didn't happen, but when he went there, it was the gain ownership. And, he got rid of the Rip Hamiltons and all the young guys, Courtney Alexander, Popeye Jones, which is not old. Which is not young, but it was to build a playoff team to make it to the playoffs, right? And then he was going to go into management. How he was dealing with the players, they didn't like the idea that this is how they're being dealt with as the player version of him. What happens as the owner version of him? So the team had a meeting and basically said, we don't want him here. Oh. We don't want him to be our owner. So,
Damn.
Mr. Poland basically said, well, the players voted. So they gave him, when he had the meeting with MJ, gave him that check and said, the team don't want you, gave him $10 million. MJ threw that motherfucker left.
Damn.
So MJ was
so he was getting killed. So he was, Mr. Poland was getting killed because of the MJ thing. So, so he was just erase his name out of here, let people start talking about bet.
That's a bar, Gil. You ain't tell nobody that.
Bet.
Wow.
Shit, got Mike name up out of there.
Wow.
Out of here, nigga.
Crazy to hear.
Oh, shoot.
I should be the GOAT. I did something MJ couldn't do. Got the Wizards to the playoffs.
Talk about it.
And won the playoff series. I'm the GOAT. Move over LeBron.
Talk about it.
Move over George.
Talk about it.
It's your boy.
So we asked.
And if you add our stats up together, I burn him. If we want to go to history, I gave him 41.
Mike?
I'm about to tell my kids that.
Mike, you gave Mike 41?
You should.
So Mike and him 41?
It wasn't on
No,
Mike.
but I'm saying he
wasn't on Mike. He was on the court.
So Mike was 41 Mike and then 60 on Kobe.
He was old, but the fact that
it don't matter.
It was still 6 rings.
You on the court.
Still 6 rings.
It don't matter. You on the
He
court.
was still MJ, you know what I mean?
It count. That's it. It count.
When I tell my story, it was the MJ with the Bulls. Right. He just had the blue alternate jersey. They don't know.
Jerry Krause, we talked about this earlier this week, but Jerry Krause was the GM of the Bulls when MJ was there, right? So he was the architect of those 6 chips. So MJ put in a kind of GM capacity with the Wizards, was unable to reach the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's a gentleman currently playing that gets called late GM all the time that has championships in that capacity, but just wanted to keep this moving.